I have flipped the page and I am taking a look at the month of September.
Welcome. This is one plan, 1 month, and one shop for the month of September in 2021. One plan, 1 month, and one shop guides us through the month, and in this case it's going to be September, with an organized month of meals and already purchased groceries to select from. You know, September holds many changes, and those changes include things like school starting, getting everyone back to a regular routine with their work, and it just keeps you very, very busy. Now, in particular, we've got extra meals maybe, if your kids are virtual and they're at home, so you have lunches, you got dinners. It's just a conglomeration of lots of changes that may be taking place. So also we're dealing with those crisp breezes, hopefully, at the end of the month where fall is setting in. Our colors are going to change. And so we don't want our list of meals or preparing those meals. We do not want that to add to the stress of the month. And in fact, we want as stress-free a month as we can possibly plan. So that's the reason why we have the 1 month, one shop, and of course, one plan. Now, what we're going to do is that I'm going to share with you what my plan is for the month of September. And I'm hoping that you're going to take it, you're going to print it off, that you are going to look at it, add to it, do some tweaking to it to work for your family. And of course, quite a few of these meals you're going to see prepared for you on the channel. And I will include at that time, I will include the recipes along the way. And so we're just going to have a fun time in the kitchen together. So, one plan, 1 month, and one shop. Let's save some money as well as better organize our time.
It's time to think about those, you see those fall leaves and those fall colors, and I love blossoms, but when fall comes, things change. So we're going to take a look at what I'm putting together and what I'm thinking about for the month of fall. I have some favorite fall magazines that I've perused through, and I pulled some of those recipes that I looked at and thought, I cannot get through this month without trying that out. And certainly, I'm going to take you along on the journey. So I'm going to flip over to our grocery list, because what I've done already is to shop my house. And so when you shop your house first, that means that you've gone to all of those little places where you keep your supplies, your food supplies, whether it's in your garage, whether it's in your pantry, or wherever that might be. Make sure that you check those spots first before you start purchasing or thinking about what you're going to purchase. So I'm going to try to bring you in just a little bit closer. And once I do that, we're going to take a look at this month's grocery shop. Now, we're going to start with the meat, fish, and poultry section. And I had some great ideas for something very fall. This is apple time, so fall and apples always go together. So I'm going to probably come up with something with pork chops and apples. Also, sausages are always a great idea, as well as, I don't know about you, but I love those hot link sausages, and the big guy does too. So we're going to have to cook up a little bit of that, as well as a little bit of shrimp. I want some steak. I love beef liver. And if I can find some, we're going to have some liver and onions. And I need a roast because we haven't had a roast this summer. So it's time to put a nice roast together. And I'm not quite sure why I put eggs here, but I need some eggs. So that's okay. I've also added to our produce list because unfortunately, when you're shopping 1 month, you can get all of those good staple goods, but your produce list is usually what will send you back to the grocery. And every now and then I do have to go back. So I have my salad items like lettuce and tomatoes, cucumbers, celery, peppers, of course, apples, potatoes, and I want some little fingerling potatoes this time, as well as we've got some limes and some lemons for seasonings. And I think on one of my dishes that I was thinking about, I'm going to need some shallot. So I need to add shallots to the list. And of course, if you can't find shallots, then you can find some sweet onions. And where I am, I think we may still be able to find some vidalias. So if I chop them up, I think that will work. And we get into our canned and bottled. And this is where you can see, this is one of those areas that it really pulls in a lot of items. So I have gone through my ideas for the month of September. I've added my canned and bottled items that I know I need. And I will probably still have a few things that I'll need to add to that list. But I really try to make sure that I stick with the list. And most of the time I curbside. And so I have to make sure that my list is pretty accurate. As far as dairy, I don't need a lot. I just need a little milk and a little buttermilk this time. And because my pantry is pretty well stocked and my refrigerator as well. Now, in my miscellaneous, I need to find some flashlights. No, that and the AAA batteries are not really as such major grocery items or food items as such, but it's something I need to shop for, so I needed to put that on the list. And my Persil, and of course my Dawn dishwashing liquid. I have plenty of dishwasher liquid, but I did need to replace my Dawn. And I'm looking here, I've got some nail polish that I'm looking for, and I may be able to find it at the grocery. For the month of September, I wanted some things that were new, things that I had not prepared before. And, it gives you a challenge for something that you might be able to try. And even if you don't have time to try a lot of different things, try a couple of things through the month that you have not done before. Select a day when you're not so busy and try something new. And that's what I like to do. Now, so I am going to prepare some chicken and apple burgers. I want a baked chicken, and we're going to spatchcock that chicken. That means that we're going to take the back out of it, lay it flat, grill it, and I want it served with some tomato gravy. Does that not make your mouth water? And you're thinking, tomato gravy? Yes, it's made with tomatoes. And I will be showing you that. That is a Southern girl's meal. Also, we love salmon, so there's going to be some salmon this month. There's going to be some turkey apple grilled cheese sandwiches that I am really looking forward to. And of course, that roast I told you about, we're going to do a beef pot roast. I want some seared ribeyes, if I can find those, and they're fairly reasonable. Now, I'm thinking about some mustard shallot chops. And, some of this is based on what I can find. I love sheet pan sausages with fall vegetables. And not only is that a delicious dish, but it's pretty. And it's a 1 pan meal. We're going to prepare a beef tenderloin with some mushrooms. And I love butternut squash. I like to roast it. And we're going to put it together with chicken. And we're going to make a burrito bowl. How about that? So, all the recipes for this month are down in the description box. So while your mouth is watering, get your pen out, get your printer going, and get those meal ideas ready.
I'm Leona Dooley, and this is Ebony, Ivy, and Thyme, and I welcome you always to the kitchen. Now, I'm hoping that you're going to take the time to watch one plan, 1 month, and one shop September, because it's going to help to save you money, and it's going to give you a plan that is on paper. And you know, the good thing about that is that you can tweak it with a pencil, you can scratch out those things that you don't like, you can add the ones that you do, but it gives you a basis, something to start with, so you don't have to come in and say, what's for dinner? You may even be able to set up one-pot meals along the way, and I'm going to be sharing quite a few of those with you throughout this month. Now, let's make sure that you have subscribed. So I'm going to ask you right now, if you're not a member of the family, to make sure that you hit that little subscribe button down below, and you might even want to tap the little bell icon so that you're able to be notified every time I upload. Now, you're also going to want to make sure that you keep up with what's going on in the kitchen, because you never know. It could be cooking, it could be decorating, and it could be chatting together. So join the family. For those of you who are new subscribers, I love it and thank you very much. And for those of you who have been a part of the family from the very beginning, I love it. And so I am very appreciative to all of you. Please take the time to share this video with those who you think would benefit or enjoy watching these types of videos. And you know, I have lots of videos for lots of different dishes that I prepared along the way. So go back, take a moment, peruse through that list, and see if you find something you might like to watch. So without further ado, let's keep going.
You are always welcome to the home of Ebony, Ivy, and Thyme. You are invited to join our family. Our family loves to decorate, to cook, and to chat. All those things make our home a warm and happy place. The kitchen is the hub, it's the heart of the home. It is in our kitchens where we love, nurture, encourage, and guide our families over delicious meals or just across the counter. Your kitchen should be the place where everyone wants to come, have a seat, and get a hug. So join me weekly, right here in the kitchen of Ebony, Ivy, and Thyme, and see what we're up to. Grocery hauls are always a lot of fun. I'm showing you the meat section, where we're starting with the steaks, going to the Italian sausages, the turkey, and of course a little sliced ham for the big guy sandwiches, as well as some pork chops and some chicken breast. And that's going to get us through at least a week or more. So we're going to move on to the next section, which is going to pick up our fruits. Okay, we're moving on to the fruits, and we're starting with the Fuji apples, moving on to the pears. We have some lemons and cucumbers, which are going to be delicious. And you know, I bought a cute little acorn squash that I think is going to be really special. I also purchased 2 bottles of Frank's hot sauce.
No, that's not for me. That's for the big guy. And he actually found that there is a new Frank's that's out, which is called Extra Hot. So we're going to try that. Let's take a look at the rest of the fruit. I needed some Granny Smith apples for our apple slab pie. I purchased some olives, and the big guy loves to eat olives. We needed cheese, and I saw some of those potatoes I want to try by Bob Evans, buttermilk, of course some regular sharp cheese, and some sandwich cheese. They only had large eggs. Apple pie spice, of course, and a little chili flavoring, as well as some bagel thins, which we love because they really cut those calories down to half. And of course, the big guy snuck in some cookies. So, it was a short, sweet, and perfect grocery haul. I love it. And of course, I don't think I mentioned the potatoes and the lettuce, but you're going to be seeing those over the next week or so. So just be prepared because all of this is going to be coming to a kitchen near you. Did you think that I could let you leave my house without serving you something? Oh my goodness. Remember the apple slab pie? Well, you know what? The pie crusts are ready, and we are going to put those apples on the stove, get them chopped up, cooked, and we're going to get them onto a slab of dough and get them into the oven. So that's what we're going to do right now. I'm using about 8 Granny Smith apples, and I have cut them into very small cubes. And yes, I did take the peels off because I just thought that would be too much chewing. But anyway, I've sprinkled them with about a half cup to a cup of brown sugar and only 1 tablespoon of regular white granulated sugar. And then I sprinkled in a teaspoon of apple pie seasoning. And so I've mixed all that up. It's in this pot. I did not add any liquid whatsoever. And low and slow, I am letting these apples cook down to a syrup. Now, I already had some in the freezer, so I've taken out the ones that I have in the freezer, and I'm going to combine them with the ones that I'm preparing today. And I did these today mainly because I wanted you to see how I did it. I'm going to roll out the dough, and I'm going to put that on fast forward because if you go back and you look at my homemade pie crust video, you're going to see how I made the pie crust and how I got it to the point that you're seeing it today. So we're just strictly rolling it out, getting it fairly thin because this is an unstructured apple pie. So we're putting it on a little rectangular pan that I have oiled and greased with Crisco, and I'm just going to literally take a slab of rolled out pie dough, put it on the pan, put the apples in it, put another slab of dough on top, and crinkle the sides so that it will all hold together. A slab means just like that, unstructured. I'm taking the pie dough off of this sheet, and I'm going to use my rolling pin to do that. And I'm going to place it on the rectangular pan. Then we're going to work on the second slab of dough. We're going to put the pie filling, because it's cooled at this point. I'm going to put it onto the first slab, and we're going to put the two together, and that slab pie is going to be ready to go. The richness of this apple pie filling is just overwhelming. You can smell the caramelized brown sugar,
and the apples are absolutely beautiful, both those that I did for you as well as those that I had in the freezer. Now, what I'm doing is just gently taking that crust, the top crust, and putting it over it. It's going to just fall into place, and once we do that, we're going to gently place it in the oven once it's finished. Now, what we do have to do, and something that you may not be used to doing, is that we're going to have to crimp this crust all around the outer edges. And the reason for doing that is because we want to be able to hold this apple pie inside and onto the slab. So that's going to take a minute. Now remember, this is homemade, so it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. Since I'm not in a major rush, I'm just gently taking the crust, and I'm not really doing a fancy little design, but I did want to make it look nice since we're spending so much time together, and plus it gives us a chance to chit chat. And I hope that your children are ready for school and grandkids are ready for school, and that everyone is safe and that school is moving smoothly. It's fun to be able to bring them home and to have them in the home. And just imagine having this apple slab pie ready for them to have for dinner. Now, what I've done is I'm going to get a teaspoon, and I'm going to gently sprinkle on about a teaspoon of sugar over the top of this crust for two reasons. I want that sugar to do a little bit of caramelizing. Now we're going to put it in the oven at 400, and this crust is not going to get extremely brown, but is going to be light brown. And so if you want to warm it before you serve it, then certainly put it in a 425 oven for about 15 minutes. I wrapped mine in foil. So I am so happy you're here.
I hope you have enjoyed today's video. I hope you stayed all the way to the end, because I usually try to throw in a little something, a little something extra. And here at Ebony, Ivy, and Thyme, that it is all about building strong families. Because when we have strong families, that helps us to also develop strong communities. So let's continue to build our strong family one meal at a time. Blessings to you and yours.